I'm Kelly with DNNDev.com. In a previous video, I introduced you to the form builder by building a contact us form that sent an email notification when the form was submitted. If you're new to XMod Pro and the form builder, I suggest you view that video first because here I'm assuming you know your way around the form builder. In this video, we'll build our first data-bound form. For the example, we'll pretend we're a book publisher and we want to keep a listing of books we've published. The form we create will enable the user to add and update books in the database. At the end of this video, you'll know how to generate a form from a table, add validation, swap out a control, and add some styling to the form. Please note that I'm recording this video with a pre-release version of XMod Pro 3. Your user interface may be slightly different, but you should still be able to follow along. We start by ensuring that the Use Form Builder checkbox is ticked, and click the New Form button. On the Form Builder, we'll begin on the Settings tab and give our form a name, Books. Next, let's define the data source for the form. I've previously set up a table in the .NET database for our books, but you could also choose a table from an external SQL Server database. Just select that from the drop-down list, and then supply a connection string. Since our table is in the DNN database, we'll select that option, and then we'll choose the Books table. After selecting the table, the form builder asks us to choose a key field, or the column in the table that uniquely identifies each record. This is necessary if you want to edit your records later. In our case, the key field is Book ID. Once we've selected the key field, we could immediately start adding controls to our form. However, the form builder can save us a ton of time. When you press the Auto Create Form button, XMod Pro will analyze a selected table and generate a form from that. It's a great feature that can jumpstart your form development. Now, before moving on, I want to point out a small but important time-saving feature on the form builder. If your table's column names use camel case, a naming convention where you use uppercase characters to denote the start of a new word, XMod Pro will automatically split the name into separate words for use in our controls label. You can see this in action here with author ID, image URL, and genre ID. If we scroll down and look at the label that has been generated for us, in the form you'll see that they've been split into two different words. While seemingly small, this feature alone can save you a lot of extra typing, especially for longer forms. As you can see, the form builder has given us a pretty good start on our form. The title column in our table is a text column that allows a maximum of 125 characters. XMod Pro not only has provided a text box and label, but it has sized that control to something more appropriate for entering a title. And if we edit the control, we'll see it has been bound to the title column in our table, and that the maximum length for the control has been set to 125. Now, one thing the form builder hasn't provided is validation for our controls. So let's go ahead and add that now. We'll add a validator that ensures the title has been filled out because, really, what's a book without a title? To do that, click on the Validator tab. Then click on the plus button to add a new validator. Select Required from the Validation Type drop-down list. And for the text property, specify some notification that will be displayed for the user next to the control should validation fail. And finally, we'll add a more descriptive error message that will be displayed at the bottom of the form in the validation summary control the form builder has already added to the form for us. Click Save to add the validator and Apply to save our changes. Let's go ahead and tweak the form a bit more. Notice that the image URL control is a text box. Let's make life a little bit easier on our users and allow them to upload an image. So, we'll delete the current image URL control, and then select the file upload control from the other category in the control picker. Give the control an ID of UPL book cover. The label will be book cover. We need to link this or bind it to a column in our table, so we will select the image URL column. The display mode will be upload file and select it so that XMod Pro will send that information to the database. And then we need to only allow images to be uploaded, so we'll type in GIF, PNG, and JPEG. Click Apply, and scroll down to the bottom of the form, and you'll see that the file upload control has been added to the form. It's in the wrong position, so just click and drag to move it into position. For this video, we're going to add a couple of more tweaks to the form, just change the labels on a couple of controls. We're going to change the author ID here to something a little bit better for users. Just change it to author. And genre ID will become genre. And that takes care of our form tweaks. Now let's add some styling to the form. Click on the Styling tab, select the theme we want. We'll select Sunny, label alignment, right alignment, change the width, something a little bit lower, say 80 pixels, and we'll use rounded corners. Finally, click Create Form, and we're done. Click Preview, and you can see that our form has been created. If we chose not to add anything in the title field and clicked Add, we would see that the title is required. Shows up for us. And that's the book form, our first data-bound form in XMod Pro using the Form Builder. In the next video, we're going to tweak this form a little bit more and add some more data binding. We're going to allow the user to not have to type things into text boxes. We'll allow them to choose them from drop-down lists that have been bound to tables in our database. Stay tuned for that.